Welcome to Pete's World of Poisonous Plants, where history, science, and a touch of dark humor collide. If it can kill you, cure you, or just make your day very unpleasant, you'll hear about it here. Before we dive in, a quick disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, and this video is for historical and educational purposes only. Do not try anything you're about to hear. In the sweltering summer of 1904, the Olympic Games were held in St. Louis, Missouri. These games were already overshadowed by the World's Fair, but one event, the men's marathon, quickly became legendary. Not for athletic triumph, but for chaos, cheating, poison, and near death. At the center of it all was Thomas Hicks, a long-distance runner born in England in 1875, who later emigrated to the United States. By 1904, he was competing for the American team, a relatively unknown figure compared to some of the better-trained entrants. But Hicks would leave St. Louis etched into Olympic history, though not for reasons he could be proud of. The marathon course itself was a disaster waiting to happen. Instead of closed streets, runners shared the road with cars, wagons, and horses. The ground was unpaved, kicking up clouds of choking dust. Only one water station was set up at around the 12-mile mark. Temperatures reached over 30 degrees Celsius, that's 90 Fahrenheit, in the old money. Early on, Hicks began to flag badly. His support team, two men who would today be called as coaches, decided he needed, shall we say, help. Their idea of sports medicine was a cocktail that would horrify modern doctors. They gave him egg whites, brandy, and small doses of strychnine. Yes, strychnine, the same substance found in Strychnus nux vomica, used in rat poison. In tiny doses it acts as a stimulant, causing the muscles to contract more strongly. In slightly larger doses it causes convulsions, seizures, and death. Hicks' team believed it would give him the boost he needed to stumble through. And they were right, but only barely. As the race wore on, Hicks began to display disturbing symptoms. His muscles twitched, he became pale and gaunt, and his coordination faltered. Reports suggest he began hallucinating, convinced the finish line was still miles away, when in fact he was nearly there. He staggered, unable to run unaided. His trainers actually carried part of his weight as he shuffled to the line. Today, that alone would have disqualified him. But in 1904, he was declared the winner. After collapsing at the finish, Hicks lost nearly 4 kilograms in body weight and was rushed away for medical attention. His survival was touch and go. Without immediate treatment, he could have died from the toxic pick-me-up his team administered. Remarkably, he lived and even raced again, though never with the same notoriety. Hicks retired from serious competition not long after, but his name has remained forever linked with the most infamous marathon in Olympic history. But Hicks wasn't the only story from that day. The race was a carnival of absurdity. Take Fred Lorz, another American runner. 9 miles in, he quit with exhaustion, then hitched a ride in a passing car. When the car broke down, Lorz jogged the last stretch back to the stadium and crossed the finish line to thunderous applause. He was crowned the winner until officials discovered his little shortcut. Lorz later claimed it was a joke. The Amateur Athletic Union didn't see the funny side. He was banned, though reinstated within a year. Then there was Félix Carvajal, a Cuban postman who turned up in St. Louis with no money, having gambled away his travel funds on the way. He ran the marathon in street clothes, cutting his trousers into shorts with a pair of scissors. Along the route, he begged food from spectators, ate rotten apples from an orchard, and reportedly stopped for a nap under a tree. Despite this, he finished in 4th place. Meanwhile, conditions took a dangerous toll on others. William Garcia, an American, collapsed by the roadside after inhaling dust, suffering near-fatal internal bleeding. Several others dropped out from heat exhaustion, cramps, or sheer despair at the ridiculous course. The 1904 marathon became known as the Race from Hell, a perfect storm of poor planning, harsh conditions, and desperate measures. And at its heart was Thomas Hicks, staggering across the finish line, with poison coursing through his veins. His victory was a triumph of stubbornness and reckless medical experimentation rather than athletic excellence. Today, it stands as one of the earliest and strangest tales in the history of performance enhancement, a grim reminder that the line between stimulant and toxin is frighteningly thin. If you found this story as bizarre and chilling as I did, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more tales from the darker side of history, medicine, and of course, poisonous plants. And remember, sometimes the most dangerous ingredient in sport isn't the opponent you face, but what you put in your own body.